Okay, so we have some interesting developments, and by developments, I mean an article that was published and that says some very direct things about this hockey player here and the Detroit Red Wings. Yeah, we've already made a few videos talking about the Pittsburgh Penguins and Detroit. We had spoken about Erik Karlsson being a Red Wings target, and Rickard Rakell being a Red Wings target, and Bryan Rust being a Red Wings target. We have made videos about all of these dudes, and it comes with the territory, considering the fact that Pittsburgh is the only team willingly selling off assets as in players on the roster. Every other team's like, yeah, no, we want to get better. We want to be competitive. We want to grow. We want to make the playoffs. We want to win the cup. It's kind of all over the place here with teams that are trying to not sell anything at any opportunity possible. But anyways, let's go out there and take a look at the latest on Bryan Rust, Pittsburgh Penguins forward. We have already made a video about him. He's from Michigan. He's 33. He's on a pretty good contract, $5.125 million till the end of 2028. And this previous season, he had a stellar year with 65 points in 71 games played. He reached 30 goals this year, too, for the first time in his career. There you go. Bryan Rust alongside of Rickard Rakell and Sidney Crosby was so good, and when you think about some of the other seasons he has had, yes, this might be a career high in terms of goals and points, but he actually has had better seasons point per game wise. He had a season over a point per game, and another one just underneath it. If those years were not shut down due to lesser health availability and games played, then he probably would have had higher than 65 points as a career high on one season. But anyways, Rust is a good player. Rust was a part of a stellar top line with Crosby and Rakell, and Rust, alongside of Crosby and Rakell, could be on his way out soon, which is why we turn our attention over to the hockey news. Because this article published by Jake Ty yesterday goes out there and talks about an NHL insider's commentary that the Red Wings are leading the race to land Penguins' Bryan Rust. Now, I don't necessarily know if that's accurate. So I'm going to leave a link in the description so you could check out this article on the hockey news yourself. And we'll go through it ourselves here on this video commentary to try to get the scoop as to what's going on. Insider reports indicate the Red Wings being the top contender to land Penguins winger Bryan Rust. Can we zoom in? The text is a little bit small there. Okay, how does that look? Here, this is a little bit better, we can say. The Pittsburgh Penguins are reportedly selling off what they can from their roster, with the only exception being Crosby. One of the team's most valuable assets is winger Rust. The 33-year-old Michigan native has been a consistent point producer and has worked as a top-line winger for the Penguins during their dominant run in back-to-back Stanley Cups in 16 and 17. Detroit is in need of a top-six forward to play alongside Larkin and Raymond, with Rust being the possible answer. Early trade chatter has already linked both teams, with the Wings currently sitting as the top contenders to land Rust, according to Bleacher Report's Adam Gretz. Ah, yes, so this is where the source is coming from. I think we did take a look at this article earlier on. Yeah, that's exactly it. BleacherReport.com. This is the same piece that we had looked at a few days ago, talking about how Detroit should be labeled as number one for Rust. Are we just rehashing the same video? Oh boy, I don't know, man. Yeah, well, let's go back over onto the hockey news, try to see what other new information can be presented here in regards to the Rust and Detroit conversation. Right shot winger that has been known to have played both sides of the ice. He could be thrown into a favorable position, similar to one in Pittsburgh playing with Crosby, with two elite forwards that can dish him the puck. The homecoming for a kid out of Pontiac would be a great one, as Rust grew up being a Red Wings fan. What else is there over here? Okay, there's some comments. Yeah, Rust is getting up there in years. Another mid-level player. Okay, buddy. I'm sorry, but you can't really go out there and label Bryan Rust in the same way that you would label Cop or Comfer. I get that everybody likes to meme on those two in particular because it's like, oh wow, look at that. Stevie Y signed long-ish term, beefy dollar amount contract deals to two dudes that are playing in the bottom six. Rust ain't gonna do that, man. Rust is gonna be a legit top six, top line guy for the Detroit Red Wings, assuming he does get added onto the team. I mean, just think about it. He's got a spot right there with Larkin and Raymond. I'm not gonna lie, man. A top six of Rust, Larkin, Raymond, DeBrincat, Kasper, and Kane looks really good. Don't even get me started on the power play, but still, all you need is one extra dude to fill in this spot, and your top six is golden, whether it is a Rust or a Raquel or a Jason Robertson. I think all these guys are talented enough and they're good enough to handle the minutes, not to mention the fact that Larkin and Raymond are smart enough to be able to adjust to whomever it is on that left side there. Raymond especially, he is so good. Such a wizard with the puck, so skilled, so defensively sound, and he has a lot of value to bring to whomever it is suits up on his opposite wing there. DeBrincat and Kane, let these guys cook together. Marco Kasper, we're all going to assume that he gets better. I will say that maybe there's the possibility for a sophomore slump, but as long as the Red Wings don't entrust him to being a top line, every situations kind of guy, as long as they ease him back into it, I think he'll be okay. Second line center, I don't really think those guys are more prone to a sophomore slump. I generally tend to think that if you're a top of the line guy, that's where you can run into some problems in your second year. But Marco Kasper, he's got a good supporting cast around him. Everybody else over here, I mean, you could even toss in James Van Riemsdyk into the bottom six. You might have to get rid of one of these dudes. Maybe not Appleton because you just signed him, but I don't know, man. If you're able to get rid of a Cop or a Comfer, that probably feels really good, doesn't it? Just get out of the money, allocate the years, get a guy who is a lot more productive for the same cost and whose contract expires sooner. I think, at least, right? Let's go over to Bryan Rust. Contract expiration 27-28. When does Comfer expire and when does Cop expire? When do their contracts expire? Excuse me. The players themselves are not expiring. I actually did get some comments over the past few years. Hey, stop saying that these players are going to expire. That means they're going to die. Okay, I apologize for that. So Cop goes on till I stand corrected. Comfer's till 27-28. Cop is till 26-27. Rust is 27-28. Okay, so he's kind of in the same territory there. But still, the dollar amounts are the same. Rust is making 5,125, and the other dudes, I mean, Cop's 5,625, and then Comfer's 5,1. So Rust is in the same dollar amount territory. It works very well if you just send away Rust for one a Cop or Comfer, and then if you're Detroit, you would add on some extra prospects and picks or whatever to make it worth it for the Penguins. I mean, there's a realistic possibility for it to work, and if you just take the roster spot away from a Cop or a Comfer in the bottom six, you add JVR down there, and then you put Rust on the top line, that's where everything starts to come together. So maybe Detroit is the top destination. They're leading the race to land Bryan Rust of the Pittsburgh Penguins. All the factors make sense. Hometown guy, top line winger spot. The cap works out as long as you're able to get rid of Cop for a Comfer, and you can add some assets. The Red Wings, guess what? They've got a ton of those. So I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about the idea of Bryan Rust heading over to Detroit and the Red Wings apparently being the top landing destination for this Pittsburgh Penguins forward? What do you think a trade looks like? Let me know in the comments all your opinions. I hope you enjoyed this Swedish Astral 9, and bye.